Hi folks, just a short video of my father in Australia just helping us get the message across, so here we go.
Dr. Barry, London News. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. On Friday the 13th, 2023, well, Friday the 13th, good for some and bad for others. It goes back to the Templars when they fled France. Louis decided to raid them, but they got ahead of him by a month, and all that was left was the infirm leaders, and they were all taken into custody and burnt at the stake on Friday the 13th. Information, well, now this video clip is a follow-up on the 15-minute cities. The people have taken a stand in Oxfordshire, and if you have a look, you will find, remember the game, Spot the Ball. Remember you had to tick in and find out where the ball in the game. Well, this is a case where you spot the foreigner in England, because the English people in Oxfordshire have gone up and without any support from any foreigners, which is surprising. And in Australia, it's Spot the Aussie. It's the same game. And remember, it's just a game. So I've got to be careful what I say, but you can work it out for yourself. And the way things are going is we have to say, Mr. Mannering, we're doomed. Remember that TV program on years ago? Mr. Mannering, we're doomed unless we make a stand. And we make a lawful stand. And the people through common law can fight back if they stand together. But we've got a problem. There's no such thing as Aussies anymore. We're supposed to have the biggest multicultural people in the world. Well, unless these multicultural people, we stand together, we're again, Mr. Mannering, we're doomed. We need to make a stand, a lawful stand, to put an end to these cities, because they're happening all around the world. And it's not going to be in the future. It's this year, and by this time next year, it will be in situ. You will, you have to laugh with this video. The council come up and they're so lovely, and they say, oh, it's this and it's that. And then the other guy, which looks like a Muppet, that's my personal opinion, and he comes along and spills the beans. He says, you will be fined if you leave your zone. Now, I don't know. I'm just repeating what I say. Now, people under the age of 50 will not believe this, so you're wasting your time trying to convince them. They will not listen to you. They will not look it up, and they are so self-censored and institutionalized in their own stupidity. Forget them. You just have to wait till they grow up. London News going to pass on now. Let's look at these video clips. If you need, look, get yourself an identification card from the common law court. The address is at the back of the video. Do it. Don't waste time. Anyway, London News sign off. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. And for God's sake, try and educate the people over 50. And if you can do it below that, fantastic. Bye for now.
Hello, everyone. Recently, we've seen a lot of misinformation about traffic filters circulating online. This misinformation is being spread by many disreputable sources, and it has been extremely disappointing to see it being picked up by the national media outlets as well. These conspiracy theories are causing real-world harm and need to stop. We have been receiving many calls and emails from worried residents in genuine fear that they might be locked in their own homes. This is categorically untrue, and we're talking you today to explain the truth. To reassure residents and set the record straight, we want to be absolutely clear. We are not planning a climate lockdown or a lockdown of any kind.
The traffic filters will be installed as a trial on 6 roads in Oxford in 2024. They will not be physical barriers. They're not steel walls or electronic gates. They're simply traffic cameras that can read number plates. If a vehicle passes through, the camera will read the number plate, and if you do not have an exemption or a residence permit, you will receive a fine in the post. There's been a lot of commentary that the filters will separate communities and stop people from visiting loved ones. This is not true.
Do not believe what these people tell you. Do not believe their assurances that it will be fair and equitable. Do not believe that it will have anything to do with saving the planet. It will not.
Peter, what has motivated you to come down here today and get involved?
Democracy and the rights of citizens to have a say in what happens in their communities.
British people just need to be reminded that they pay for everything. They are the masters, and the people in the House of Commons and the House of Lords and councils throughout the country are the servants. And until the servants need to relearn their role. It's not their job to start bossing us around. It's not their job to do anti-democratic things like the zoning we see in Oxford. And they need to be reminded of who's in charge. And the people of this country are in charge. That's it. We pay for everything.
What would you say your biggest fear is regarding this?
So the 100 trips that they're now talking about that you're allowed to do in your own city, I remind you, will become 80 trips. It will then become 50 trips. It will then become 30 and 40. And in the end, you won't be allowed to leave your zone at all. So do not believe what these people tell you. Do not believe their assurances that it will be fair and equitable. Do not believe that it will have anything to do with saving the planet. It will not. It's designed to control, just as masks were designed to control. Just in the COVID thing was like an hors d'oeuvre. That's all it was. And you just have to join the dots. You know, you have Bill Gates, largest landowner in America. They're now encouraging people to eat bugs.
So why is it important to leaflet today?
Because I don't think people understand necessarily how undemocratic this is, the zoning of cities. So we're in Oxford today to leaflet. Ta-da! And it's just to explain the situation. Basically, for Oxfordshire County Council, this has gone through on 2,111 votes. Yes, driven by one guy, Pete Sudbury. Not very democratic, so we just think people should be informed. That's it.
Right. Let's get leafleting.
Yep. How many? Hold on, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. Hello guys, I'm here with Richard and Fred Fairbass. Okay, we're in a car park in Oxford on a cold winter January morning.
Yeah.
Guys, can you tell us why you're here today, please?
We're here to help support those who, 93% of Oxford people apparently, are opposed to the zoning of Oxford.
Yes.
The zoning of Oxford is lockdown. We need to find that's the word for it. They don't want to use that word, but that's the word for it. And we need to remind the people in council offices and the House of Commons and everywhere that we are the masters. We pay them. They've got it into their heads that they are the masters. They are not.
Well, we haven't unelected Prime Minister as well.
Yeah. So let's just turn the whole thing round and remind the British people that they are in control of their own fate. They can't be bossed around.
Say hello. Guys, why are you here today?
We're here to make people aware that they can actually do something about this 15-minute zone.
Do you want to explain to the people that don't know what the 15-minute zones are?
Well, basically, if you live in one zone, you get 100 free passes a year to go to another zone. It's on vehicle registration. If you go over 100 times, you'll be fined. If there's 2 cars in a family, or a family with 2 grown-up children, they get 25 goes each per household. They will be fined. But if you're like me, a grandparent, and you live in one zone, and your grandchildren or children live in another zone, and you're there 2-3 times a week, that life is over. That life is over. We don't care who gets involved with this. This is the time now for people to come together, jabbed, unjabbed, because this is our way of life and our families. The foundation of what family is about is going to be broken through these 15-minute zones.
So basically the 15-minute zones mean that you cannot drive your car outside of that 15-minute zone?
Unless you're prepared to pay a fine. So once you've used, and that includes going to work, you can walk, you can pay for public transport, but you cannot use your vehicle.